Hello, today I'm going to talk about guitar songs that address social issues, racism. The first song I'm going to introduce is Black or White by Michael Jackson. It is recorded in 1987 to 1990, and it is released in 1991 in the album Dangerous. At that time, there is Miami riot. It is triggered by the police officer William Lozano, who shot a black man, Clement Lloyd, who was escaping from the police. Lloyd tried to run over the police with his motorcycle, but then he crashed into a car and was dead along with his passenger, Alan Blanchard. As a result, a riot broke out in Overtown and Liberty City. Police released tear gas and cordoned off a 130 block area. At that time, Black or White shows that race does not make people different, and everyone is equal. Also, with this song, Jackson shows people that there is a non-aggressive way to raise the voice upon racism. It also brings cultural impact. For example, the famous American singer Weird Al Yankovic made an unreleased parody song of Black or White named Snack All Night. And nowadays, some people thought he bleached his body, which contradicts to his own song. However, Jackson declared that he was diagnosed with vitiligo, which is a depigmentation of skin. Also, Jackson claimed that his race will always be the same even if his skin changed. In his funeral, the black fans celebrate Jackson and quote Black or White lyrics to honor him. And that lyrics is also my favorite as well. The lyrics is, "I'm not gonna spend my life being a color. So if you are thinking of being my baby, it don't matter if you are black or white." I like these lyrics because it shows that race should not be a reason of how we treat others. More importantly, is the people's personalities. And we are all humans, so we should not be discriminating ourselves. And my second song is Accidental Racist by Brad Paisley. It is released in 2013. At that time, there's a 9 California riot. First of all, it is triggered by a fatal shooting to a black man, Manuel Diaz, by a police officer. As a result, there was a protest. But then, during the protest, another black man, Joe Acevedo, is shot by a police officer. It puts the citizens out of rage, and the protest turns into a riot. So, accidental racists receive both praises and criticisms. First of all, the negative impact is that it caused uproar on Twitter. People on Twitter think that the song is awkward and politically toxic, and they regarded Paisley as an ignorant. Also, people feel offended by some lines, like "I'll forget the iron chains," as they claim that the pain can never be forgotten. However, there is also positive impact. Some of them appreciate Paisley's effort on approaching this sensitive impact. They think that provides another unusual point of view to racism, and it brings up lots of debates towards racism as well. And my favorite lyrics is, "I'm proud of where I'm from, but not everything we have done, and it ain't like you and me can rewrite history. Our generation didn't start this nation." I think this is an apology from the white Westerners to the Native Americans, since the white Westerners invaded into the American homeland and enslaved them. Moreover, this line proves that this song is not as bad as what the criticism wrote. The singer does show sorrow and regret towards the white Westerners have done in the past. Also, I appreciate his courage of admitting what they have done wrong. My third song is Blackbirds by the Beatles. It is recorded on June 11, 1968, and it is released on November 22, 1968 in the album The Beatles. At that time, Martin Luther King Jr., who is the civil rights leader, was assassinated. The day before his death, he gave a speech of Promised Land, which seems like a foreshadow of his death on the next day. He is assassinated by James Earl Ray on April 14, 1968. It triggers a riot in over 100 cities across the United States. The Beatles dedicated Blackbirds to African Americans for their contributions to civil rights movements. Also, it encouraged people to keep fighting for equality. And my favorite lyrics is, "You are only waiting for this moment to arise." It symbolizes the black people who were fighting at that time. Even though they were in the disadvantages before the civil rights movement, they took actions and succeeded to claim the deserved rights at the end. And my last song is Glory by Common and John Legend. It is recorded in 2014 and is released in the same year on December 11th. At that time, there's Ferguson unrest. It is triggered by Michael Brown, who was an 18-year-old African American man, as he was suspected of robbery and assault in a convenience store. He was fatally shot by the officer Darren Wilson. As a result, a riot broke out from August 9, 2014 to August 25th. And there's a second wave of riot from November 24th to December 2nd as Wilson was not indicted. And the last wave of riot is the next year on August 19th to August 11th, as it was the anniversary of shooting. The impact of Glory is that it reminds people of the past social unrest and successes. For example, the song referenced three 1965 Selma to Montgomery voting rights marches, which made the past president Lyndon Johnson to sign Voting Rights Act of 1965. It reminds people to unite and fight against injustice and police brutality. And my favorite lyrics is, "Now the war is not over. Victory isn't won, and we'll fight on to the finish. Then when it is all done, we'll cry glory, oh glory." It reminds me about the racism has never truly resolved even after so many protests and riots. Also, it is mostly triggered by police violence. So I believe there is still a long battle to fight against racism before people can truly win. And that's all for my presentation. Thank you.